All right, let's get right into it. We are about to pull back the curtain on something you see every day but might not think about: the web's secret language. This is the hidden code that controls how links look, how they get found on Google, and basically how they perform online. And today, we're going to master it using the incredible tools built right into Next.js.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You share a link to this amazing article with your friends, and it just shows up as a boring blue URL. But then your friend shares one, and boom! It magically blossoms into this beautiful card with a title, a description, and a big, eye-catching image. Well, that difference isn't magic. It's metadata, and it's what we're here to figure out.
And this right here, this is the perfect example. On the left, you've got the internet's mystery meat, the plain URL that tells you absolutely nothing. But on the right, you have an invitation. It's got a clear title, a helpful little description, and an image that makes you want to click. This is the difference between being scrolled past and actually getting that click.
So what is this stuff really? Well, simply put, metadata is just data about data. Think of it like a set of invisible instructions you embed in your web page. You, the human, you don't really see it when you visit a site. But the machines crawling the web, we're talking Google search bots, Slack's Wink Previewer, all of them, they read it loud and clear. It's how you tell them, hey, this is what my page is about.
So why should you care? Well, it matters for two huge reasons. First up is SEO. Good metadata is like handing Google a perfect one-page summary of your content. That helps it understand you better, which helps you rank higher. And second, of course, is social sharing. It gives you complete control over that first impression, turning a plain old link into a seriously powerful marketing tool.
Now this is where Next.js becomes a total game changer because it simplifies this whole process with a really smart, unified system. It basically gives us two different but complementary ways to manage all of our site's metadata.
Okay, so this Next.js strategy breaks down into two parts. Think of it like this. The config-based method is for the nitty-gritty details of each specific page, like the unique title for a blog post. Meanwhile, the file-based method is for the big site-wide stuff, the global rules and assets, like your site's icon that shows up in the browser tab. You're going to use both of them together for a really complete, robust setup.
So let's dive into that first method, the config-based approach. This is your go-to tool for tailoring the metadata for every single page on your site, whether its content is static or changing all the time.
For your simple pages, your About Us or Contact page, or the content doesn't change, the solution is just so clean. You literally just define and export a plain JavaScript object called metadata. Inside, you set the title, the description, and that's it. You're done. It lives right there with your page component. It's fantastic.
Okay, that's great for static pages, but what about the really dynamic parts of an app? A user's dashboard, or a specific product page, or a unique invoice. You can't just hard code that metadata because the content is different for every single one. So, how do you handle that?
And the answer is the generate metadata function. This right here is where the real magic happens. It's an async function, which means it can go out and fetch data. So, for our invoice page, it can grab the invoice ID from the URL, hit the database to get the details, and then dynamically build a perfect descriptive title just like the one you see here. It's incredibly powerful.
And to keep everything looking sharp and professional, Next.js has another neat trick up its sleeve for brand consistency. In your main layout file, you can define a title template. That little %suc is just a placeholder. So if a page's title is Settings, the final browser tab will automatically read Acme Dashboard Settings. It's a small touch that makes your whole app feel way more polished.
All right, let's switch gears and talk about our second method, the file-based conventions. This is all about automating those crucial site-wide files that search engines and browsers are always looking for. It takes all the manual grunt work out of your global SEO and branding.
With this approach, you just drop specially named files into your app folder, and Next.js just knows what to do with them. A favicon.ico becomes your site icon, an opengraphimage.jpg becomes your default social sharing image, and then you have the really powerful ones like robots.ts and sitemap.ts, which let you programmatically tell search engines how to navigate your site.
So think of the robots file as the bouncer for your website. It tells search engines, hey, you can come in, but these rooms are off limits. By creating a robots.ts file, you can generate these rules on the fly. For instance, you can easily tell every search crawler out there to stay away from your private user dashboard areas, which is obviously crucial for protecting sensitive info.
And listen, if you have a big site with thousands of blog posts or products, creating a sitemap by hand is just impossible.
That's where sitemap.ts is an absolute lifesaver. You can write a function that fetches all your content from a database and automatically generates a perfect, always up-to-date map for search engines. This makes sure nothing important ever gets missed.
Okay, so we've got the Next.js mechanics down. Now let's circle all the way back to our original problem, making our links look amazing when we share them. And to do that, we need to understand the specific rules that platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter are playing by. The industry standard here is something called the Open Graph Protocol. It's basically a set of meta tags you add to your page to explicitly define its title, its description, and its image just for social platforms. When a platform like Facebook sees these tags, it uses them to build that beautiful preview card we all want to see. And really, there are 4 tags that are absolutely essential. You've got the URL, the title, the description, and the image. If you provide these 4, you're pretty much guaranteeing a rich preview on almost every platform out there. But if you miss even one, you're leaving it up to chance, and it might not look so good.
Now, Twitter, of course, likes to be a little different. It has its own system called Twitter Cards. But, and this is the best part for us developers, if you don't provide any specific Twitter tags, Twitter is smart enough to just look for your Open Graph tags and use those as a fallback. So, by setting up Open Graph correctly, you're already 90% of the way there for Twitter too. It makes our job so much easier.
And just remember, there are some best practices here. You want to keep your titles short and punchy, definitely under 60 characters so they don't get cut off. For descriptions, a sentence or 2 is perfect. And for Twitter, a little pro tip, always opt for the summary large image card type. That's what gives you that big, beautiful image preview that really grabs people's attention. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. We talked about the config-based method, the file-based method, and all the social media rules. So now, let's put it all together into one simple, actionable game plan. Here's the workflow. Step 1. Set your global defaults. That means your title template and your default social image for a consistent brand experience. Step 2. Automate your core SEO files using robots.ts and sitemap.ts. Get that out of the way. And finally, Step 3. Go page by page and add specific, custom metadata for each one, using the right tool for the job. This layered approach is really the key to a system that's easy to scale and maintain.
You see, metadata isn't just some boring technical chore, it's a storytelling tool. It is the very first thing a potential user sees in a search result or a social media feed. It's your one chance to make a killer first impression, to provide context, and to invite someone into your world. So the only question left is, what story are you gonna tell?